So, Oda has dropped another good chapter. I'm not gonna lie, guys. We are in a backstory, and another backstory, and another backstory. But Oda just gave us some quite good looking information, That's got everybody just squandering around, looking through the searching of this and that. Let's be honest. I did not expect this chapter to go the way it actually went. So, what happened last chapter is that, we got revealed that Shanks and Shamrock were both born as babies. We get to know we don't know who the mother is, but the mother is on God Valley. Now, interesting part about God Valley is that this was before the whole God Valley incident transpired. Remember, 2 years until the God Valley incident occurred. So that's what the narrator came on said. Now we have Shamrock suggesting, let's do the next hunting game on this particular island that all of a sudden, surprise, is on God Valley. And I like how Kuma's backstory is connected to this, Jenny's backstory, on Ivanka's backstory, even Dragon's backstory is mixed into this. Like, holy shit. Here we are in this backstory, right? So, we got a lot of information to go through. So, let's go ahead and jump into this chapter with One Piece chapter 1159. The most important one, titled The Island of Destiny. Ooh, and let me just tell you, when I say everything comes full circle, everything's coming full circle with this with this art. When Oda says this is going to be the most longest, most dragged out arc, he wasn't joking. So yeah, I mean this is the biggest arc we ever got. Remember, we're still on Elbath arc. This flashback is still Elbath arc. So here we go. And starting off, 39 years ago, Hachinosu Pirate Island, and you just see a bunch of rain and thunder and just cloudy skies just hovering up above the island. And it says, all hell has broken loose. Did you look everywhere? And what actually happened? Well, somebody came on that island and raided the island. We don't know who, but we're about to find out who. I mean, who has the manpower to go in and out of that island without sustaining any injuries? Well, Don Marlin, remember he was one of the pirates that Ross recruited. He says Don Marlin and the other were killed. They were on guard duty last night. So Don Marlin has been killed. And yeah, he's bloody. He's not coming back. And you just see his hat on the ground and just rain is pouring down. You see everybody else, the Rocks Pirates crew, reacting to this. Even Rocks and Newgate are pissed. This kind of situation happened while they were gone. Remember, Rocks and his crew has went to Elbath to talk to Harujin, and your last chapter, not everybody, but Rocks and Harujin had a falling out, and they're no longer on talking terms. So that's what happened while Rocks and the rest of the crew were out. However, some crew did stay behind Hachinusu because of Shocky. Remember, 2 chapters ago, Shocky appeared on Hachinusa Island. That island was, how can I say this? That island, Hachinusa Island, was basically not Hachinusa Island. Shocky was basically a diamond in the rough. That's what I can say. A diamond that cannot be touched or taken no matter what, even on Pirate Island. So, what did Rocks do before he left? I'm betting he told Don, what was his name? He told Don Marlin to stay behind, and several others too stay behind and guard this island, guard the diamond, guard the treasure, basically Hachinusu's treasure. guard that. What ended up happening? Well, so my rated came in and took Shocky away. So anyways, Rox is mad. He says, what are you saying? And Nuge's like, huh? Someone kidnapped our Shocky. Narrator comes on. It only took the perpetrating party a few hours later. They left behind no trace. The pirates were distraught and shaken with rage. I'm telling you, full circle. But in my case, I read this chapter and I definitely knew who took Shocky. It has to be the only person that can slip in and slip out, right? It only makes sense. And you got this one pirate on that Rox obviously recruited is counting his cash. And then that girl Yorsa is even shaken by this and sad and crying and probably rage that her only the empress, ex-empress, has been taken by somebody. So yeah. Now Roger, this was everywhere. And when I say everywhere, it's been in the newspaper that's been going around the world. It got around and not only Rox, but Roger. Roger is pissed at seeing this, reading this too. He said, damn you, Rox, how can you let this happen? I'm gonna kick your butt, basically, or ass. War spread across the seas, and the people sank into despair, their smiles fading as the world's economy ground to a hope for several weeks. So, you remember when I said last chapter that I better not see that I better not find out Shocky is the centerpiece of all of this, this backstory. Turns out it is. So, unfortunately, now even lately seeing this as Shocky. Oh boy, here we go. 1 year later, God Valley West Blue. And you just see Saint Garling with a random woman. You don't know if she's either have blonde hair or red hair. But she says this, I always knew you come back. Shamrock Shanks is your father. And he's a celestial dragon? Okay, first of all, let me check this with everybody that's already seen this chapter or already seen other YouTubers' chapter. Let me check this. This woman that had St. Garland's children, I bet you 9 times out of 10, she doesn't know Shamrock is a celestial dragon or a government. She doesn't. I mean, if she does, that would be a freaking problem. But you have St. Garland, a celestial dragon, meaning with a peasant? Now I would say this, how beautiful on the scale should the Shamrock know, right? Like you got not how beautiful is the woman that Shamrock will have kids with her, right? Like how? Because we all know celestial dragons are stuck up people. Like pieces of shit, right? And you got baby Shamrock and baby Shanks, and there are twins. And Shamrock tells his wife, well, we don't know her name or her face, but she tells her this. Well, if we were to share a home, it certainly wouldn't be here. This island won't be here around much longer. And she's like, what? 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 And then next panel, you see a bunch of marine ships going straight to God's Valley. And he says this, besides, I've already secured a worthy bride for myself and placed the order. She will be mine, provided I triumph in the upcoming tourney. And she said, tourney? And you just see next panel, Shamrock doesn't even wanted to do this. Ooh. He wanted to do this a long time ago. I can see it. I can just picture it. He got what he wanted. And when he sees something else, he said, yeah. You see, here's the problem. I find myself a better woman, a better bride to have my kids. So, yeah. And he basically, Shamrock, let's be honest, Shamrock just stabs the shit out of her. It's not good. Not good at all. Shamrock just stabs her. And he says in the transparent sounds, after you stabbed her, begin the preparations. And he said on the other line, yes, sir, making landfall now. And you just got a bunch of Marines, and the people are reacting and say, all right, get everybody one guy says, get the children inside, get them hidden. We'll probably something's going on. And you got the Marines marching themselves onto marching to the town. And they got orders. 2 orders, by the way. Limit yourselves to tranquilizer rounds. First order. Second order, if they don't resist, just capture them. Now you may be wondering, some of these people are recognizable, and they're from the hunting games. One of the people that's getting hunted. They're the villagers. They're the townspeople that's in the cages, if you want to know. And you have, a certain Marine telling his superior, said, Lieutenant Commander, what exactly is the goal of this operation? He says this, it's a training exercise. Now zip it. You're 10 years too early to be questioning orders, cadet. Well, let's just say this is not an exercise order. We all know this isn't an exercise order. Let's cut the bullshit here. It's not exercising order for one. It's for the capture or the hunting game tourney for the Celestial Dragons, and as and several prizes, by the way. And squad and one of this lieutenants or lieutenant commanders partners per se says, squad leader, what's the deal with this upstart? My apology, he's still in training. And you got this particular Marine says, run, they're capturing everyone. And you got the lieutenant, which we know who the guy is. He's Monkey D. Dragon. Are these just ordinary citizens? Which they are. And his commander just said, don't question it. There's no room for personal doubts when following military orders. Just focus on completing the mission. And we get the full diagram, the full name. Marine Monkey D. Dragon, future Supreme Commander of the Revolution Army, Father of Luffy. This picture right here, this little panel right here, Dragon looks hella confused. He looks like the person that would flip that would go rogue and witness some extreme inhumane humanitarian disgusting shit he's seen in his life. I feel bad for Dragon. I do, because he's about to see some shit that he should not be seeing. And I'm pretty sure he's going to end up seeing this shit, what they're trying to do. And he says, sorry, if you let me detain you, I won't shoot. And this old guy said, I don't know what's going on, but I'm leaving this island out of the way. And you just got Dragon shooting that guy down. And you have the intercom or the transponder says, put on your mask. It's sleeping gas. And you got the cuts back to the Marine ship in the communication room. So could have sworn I saw someone. And it's, who can say? We all know who it is. It's Jenny and Ivankov. And they actually raided the prison ship, which I'm kind of, not prison ship, but I'm kind of, or I don't think they raided. Yeah, they did. So I'm kind of impressed. And you got Kuma there too, along with them. And you got Ivankov telling the rest of the Cap G's, said, Morn, do you want to die with no knowledge of where they are taking us? You need to try if you valiant to be saved. Miracles are not so easy to come by. And he's right. Well, except for Jenny, because we all know what happened in Kuma's backstory. So yeah, you got the transponders or the communication comms saying, the slaves are getting rowdy, and you just see Kuma on the off chance on the side says, so there are still slaves with spirit. And he coming back and said, and to another part of the world, says Cypherpole Intelligence Bureau. And you just see Morgan's back in the day. 39 years ago, by the way. Morgan's president of the World Economic Journal. And he says, you have more intel? What is it this time? And Morgan said, don't be coy. You guys must have caught wind of that transmission too. Let's skip to the part where you pay me off. You'd rather keep this story quiet, right? And he also says this, just try and stop me. Fools, I'm gonna leak news to the pirate island either way. So what ended up happening is, what we do know where this is going, who ends up leaking this information. It was Morgan's. See, Kuma's backstory now gets like, well, we definitely know what happens now. Cause so back to Hachinusa Island, it said, it's Shaki, she's still alive. Is this for real? So everybody ends up finding out that Shaki's still alive. And where the hell is she at? Because at first they didn't know where she was, how she was kidnapped. Didn't know if she was still alive, perchance. So everybody's wondering where she is or if she's still alive. And who took her? Well, the Celestial Dragons human hunt. I always figured that was a baseless rumor. So even pirates know this, that what the Celestial Dragons are up to. They're sick. And you got Big Mom saying, so it looks like they're putting devil fruits up for grades too, Kaido. Didn't you want one? And Kaido said, what do these ones do? These fruits could be perfect for my kids. As Big Mom's to the sides too, saying that off to in her mind. And one of them says, what if this is some sort of trap? And Roger just tells him, just shut up. If you got cold feet, you can just stay here behind on the island. Let's move. God Valley awaits. And boom, everybody gets set sail to God's Valley. So you got Rock's pirates moving, Roger pirates onto the side. Where's God Valley? And they also got the information. And Scarpa Gaban says this, it's pretty far, but we should make it in time. And Roger's like, y'all are with me, right, fellas? And everybody says, yeah. Rox is already on the move. We can't let him get ahead. So yeah, you got the Rox pirates and the Roger pirates going to God's Valley, converging to God's Valley. Now we get to see the big picture of what's been going on since the God Valley incident. Good thing Oda's revealing this in this. Alright, narrator comes on. It was an unlikely turn of events, but this small leak led to the mobilization of all the toughest men of the seas. And we all know who's the main prize, the centerpiece of this conflict. We all know. And you have Garbs' just jaw dropped. And starstruck. He's like, he got this transmission. He said, it seems Roger's headed there too. Lead with that next time. I'm on my way. So you got the Marine Hero Guard going to God's Valley. So everything's converging. Now it's cutting back to rocks and a certain giant ship too. And yeah, it's Harujin basically. And he says this. This said your entire crew was obsessed with this woman. That's how I knew I'd be able to intercept you here, Rocks. You know, if we fought without any regard for our own lives, we could sink your puny little ship with ease. Well, I don't know about that, per se. Puny lives? I don't know about that. That is a heavy statement coming from Harujin, because one, for one, you got Rocks. Two, you have to deal with Big Mom, Kaido, and who's my minor track right here, and Whitebeard on the crew. He got some heavy hitters with him this time. You think Rocks will not go nowhere without his heavy hitters? Hell no. Because that would make him the most vulnerable person on the crew, right? Like the odd man out. So, and three, he does got two devil fruit users, not just one devil fruit. Two devil fruit users on his ship right now. So I'm pretty sure he got the silver axe on his crew on that ship too. Rock says this. So you're still trying to curry favor by playing the government's lapdog. You may be king of the overgrown brutes, but you're underestimating us. Are you really content to let the government sit back and watch as we tear each other apart? You're nothing but a giant lunatic clinging to your diluted version of progress. Why don't we talk it out, just the two of us? And just like that, they actually did. But just to be honest with you too, I'm surprised one of Rox's crewmates didn't say that what is going on in God's Valley is atrocious. And what I mean atrocious is I wonder if Harujin knows what the government and celestial dragons are doing on that island. Like there's some sick stuff that's going on that island, like inhumane stuff that would even flip the king himself of the giants to Rock's side automatically, because once he sees what's going on that island, immediate flip, just like Dragon. Anyways, you must have an idea where we're going and what we're doing. Listen, this is for your ears only, as Rock's tells the King Haro. I ain't gonna tell you anyone else, not even my own crew. Ooh, so he won't have any. So they won't have any leverage. And you just got the Ross crew and King Haro's attendees, or I said his crew too. They all don't want this to transpire, but they back off because they know they won't fight. Well, they're waiting for the fight, but here we are. Rock says this. I've got a hidden name. It's, surprise, it's Davy D. Zebek. King Haro says, you're not really called Rox. Really? And Rox was like, I reckon the world government has been trying to erase this specific name for a long time. It's tied to the lineage of the legendary pirate Davy D. Jones. He also says this. The name still commands some influence in the underworld even now, but it's barely scraping by. And Ross finishes with this. I ain't sure if the timing was good or bad, but 2 years ago, I had a kid. To keep him totally safe, I sent my family away, back to my hometown, told them to count on the Davy clan. Oh shit. And King Haro says this. I see your kin, your wife, and child are back in your hometown, but why are you revealing your weak spot to me? And he says this. My hometown is God Valley. And Charles was like, what? Are you saying the government states this just to lure you in? And he says this, nah. The celestial dragons are gathering there, right? They wouldn't want me crashing their party. They just made a mistake. Still, it feels like destiny is pulling me in, dragging me back. Taking Shocky was their biggest blunder. As long as I get my wife and kid to safety, I will be at peace with whatever happens next. But it doesn't feel like luck's on my side anymore, Harold. Lend me a hand. So he says this to Harold. And King Harold says, no way I'm gonna sink you right here, right now. And Rock's like, is that so? Bring it on. And you got King Haro telling his crew, don't interfere. And they're like, huh? And you got smoke coming off that boat, explosions everywhere. Because Rox and King Haro are fighting each other. And narrator comes on. It's hard to believe, but every 3 years, the Celestial Dragons choose an unaffiliated nation rich in resources and turn it into a hunting ground where they slaughter all the natives for sport. We seen this in Kuma's backstory, what they were doing. They done this several times. We just don't know which islands they done it to. They said Celestial Dragons held this for 3 years. And keep this in mind, they choose unaffiliated nations rich in resources. Keep that in mind, because I'll bring it up again at the my final thought. Anyways, one of the people says, help us. How can this be allowed to happen? And the narrator comes on. Well, not the narrator, but announcement comes on. We now present the grand prize of this tournament beyond all the rare devil fruits up for grabs. In one of the calm belts of the Grand Line lies the island of women. Behold, their former empress, the most beautiful woman in the world. Her name is Yaku. And everybody said, whoa, the winner can decide whether to take her as a wife or a slave. Since her capture, she's been kept spotless and pristine in every way. She's the very definition of a priceless treasure. So she is the centerpiece of all this nonsense. The centerpiece of all this conflict. Shocky is basically the centerpiece of God Valley. Just saying. And they also say this, or a guy off to the side, a Celestial Dragon says, what an amazing prize. Summers, you better win her for the Shepherd family. And you got all Celestial Dragons looking at her too. It's like they want her as for themselves. And I'm not gonna lie. I wish I would, if I was in one, let me just say, you know what? Let's keep this going. Anyways, you got Dragon walking into a building, right? He sees a bleeding woman. This woman is St. Garland's wife. He says this, and she says this, help, please help my kids. You have to get them off the island. Don't let him take them. And you just see a child and a mother and handcuffed. It's already too late. We know what happened in this story. And you have Minnie Blackbeard. Teach says here, come here, Teach. It'll be alright. You have to survive. Every world knows the attorney features several super rare rabbits to hunt. This year, we not only secured a brat from the Buccaneer tribe, but for the first time in 800 years, we also uncovered members of the Davy clan. And you just got this. The day of the God Valley incident. And you just got 2 God's Knights out to the side too. Don't be stupid. I'm gonna make her my personal property when I win. You got Garland over here that says, she'll be my wife. Quit dreaming, Summers. And you got some other person too. Gunko, with you here, we might just take home the Clan War Trophy. One Piece chapter 1059 and final thoughts on this chapter. We don't know who this person is. Like I said, let me just say this too. Let me say this. I believe the one person that took Shocky was a God's Knight. Only they can get in and get out. Get in and get out. No, there's no other way. Unscathed, come on now. They're the only person that can do that is a God's Knight. They have the ability to pop in and pop out of a place. They have the power. Also, don't mean to bring this up, but we did have how many chapters was like 5 chapters? We did have a scene in the chapters. I forgot what chapter it was, but we saw like 2 giants at the gate that was guarding like a certain castle. Like they're not supposed to they were guarding like a guard basically. They were guarding something, was standing guard. And you got 2 intruders, and those 2 intruders were Shamrock and Gunko. How they got here was from the old castle, because there was a pentagram on the floor that beamed themselves right there, just like St. Saturn's beamed everybody from Marie's to Egghead Island, basically Wi-Fi. So yeah, that's point number 1. Let's get that out the way. It was I'm betting 9 times out of 10 that was a God's Knight. Second, you have King Horo and Rox talking at the same time while this is happening. Rox was telling King Horo this. Look, I don't know why you still standing with the government, but it has to stop, because if you don't, well, something is gonna happen. Now that King Horo is not backing down, he says, well, I'm part of the government still, so I cannot let you pass, basically what King Horo is telling Rox. Rox keeps telling Haro, say, look, I don't know why you with them, but get that out of your mindset, because what they're doing on that island, I don't know if you are going to that island, but open your eyes. They're inhumane, what they're doing. And I mean inhumane. Now, remember, and I'm about to get to this point because this does loop back around, because I'll make a follow-up video to this too, because this might be important. That might be important. But the narrator did come on and said this: it's hard to believe, but every 3 years the celestial dragons choose an unaffiliated nation rich in resources and turn it into a hunting ground where they slaughter all the natives for sport, basically calling the people that's living on that island rabbits for hunting. If you catch 2 hares, you catch nothing.
Good luck.
On the off chance, too, that's what the narrator said. But that begs the question: if the giant warriors, not giants, but if King Harold did not go to that island or didn't go to that government, Elbaf wasn't affiliated with the government. It was unaffiliated with the government, with the nation. But Elbaf was rich in resources too on top of that. So you got to remember, unaffiliated nation are picked, rich in resource are picked for the hunting games. Every 3 years. Remember, 3 years. Drive that home. So what island came under this sick game? I wonder what island came under this sick game, because it was a sick game that the Celestial Dragons were doing. And Oda, I gotta say, I love him when he does this, because this highlights what Pacific island in the world that hasn't been affiliated with the government or affiliated with the government. Because this goes back full circle if you don't remember. Like, I can't remember what island is unaffiliated nation though. That's the thing. I gotta do next video I'll probably bring it up, but that's kind of interesting. What islands in the One Piece several chapters or animes weren't affiliated with the government? That's kind of interesting. Even if the island wasn't even affiliated with to begin with, but that makes you wonder. The Celestial Dragons can just like, I can picture if the Celestial Dragons have like a board, right here, and all they get, and they're just like, oh, okay, we can just pick the next hunting game, and all they got to do is like, or I guess a Celestial Dragon B or Celestial Dragon A was arguing, but a top representative Celestial Dragon that was there to like supervise them or something, like playing this tourney for them to hunt the hunting games. I bet he told those two, was like, okay, wait a minute, well, we'll pick Celestial Dragon number C right there, Celestial Dragon C. Where do you want to go? It's your turn to pick. And I guess Celestial Dragon C just picked up a dart, and wherever that dart lands on the map, that's the next hunting game. I bet you that's what they did. But that makes you wonder, does the Gorosei pick the island, or just any family pick the island, right? So I'm just gonna say this: Celestial Dragon C just threw the dart at any island on the map, and he picked God's Valley and say, yeah. Or that I'm pretty sure St. Fingerland did it. Have a map and just threw a dart. And I'm betting he aimed that dart at specifically God's Valley, because he has some connections or information on particularly on that island. He knows St. Garland last chapter knows some shit that he told the Gorosei. He said, yeah, you think the Buccaneers on that island? Well, no. Well, not on that island, but if you think the Buccaneers were you uncovered the Buccaneers, guess what I uncovered on that island? Guess what? The Davy Jones, the Davy clan is on there. The D clan is on that island. And I'm betting the Gorosei, the 5 Gorosei was like, all right then, get it going. Okay, we accept your request. Get everything prepared and stuff. I'll leave it up to you. And I'm betting St. Garland was like, nice. And I know the perfect prize too. So yeah, aside from that, St. Garland, third point I want to bring up is, well, who would expect that Garland would take out his sword and just drive it home into his wife and take his 2 kids, which that's kind of wild if you kind of say. Because I don't know if you know this, but if you actually thinking about this, deeper. Why does Saint Garland have his wife on God's Valley? Like, doesn't that seem suspicious to you? Like for real though. I mean, let's be honest. Let's use it. Let's use context clues right here. Let's use it, because if a celestial dragon married like the most prettiest woman in the world, he wouldn't let one person, like, he won't let his future bride live in this dump where he can wherever the celestial dragon would deem as the lower world. There you go. Step into this lower world. They would have brung their bride back to Marijual, to like you know what I mean. They could have brought her back. He could have brought her back and to Marijual, and she would have got everything she needs, like anything in the world she wished for. Boom, on that island. She would got it. And celestial dragons are always celestial dragons, because it's the mindset. It's what they were taught in school, and what they're taught in their life. Look what happened to Don Flamingo when his father and mother decided it was a good idea to leave the Marijual, descended to the lower realm, and guess what happened? The people of the lower realm didn't want them there. And what happened? The mother was killed. They were poor as hell. The mother was not killed, but caught a disease. Their two sons were like pinned to the wall, fire in hand, torches in hand, surrounded by the mobs, wanted to kill them. And you already know the rest of the story, what happened to Don Flamingo. He looked like this now, and he got the most information, blackmail the Marijual to the Gorsei, even Eam himself. Situation like this, like, you have the Gorsei have secrets, right? But you also got to remember that Don Flamingo, Dofi, used to be a celestial dragon. So I'm betting he has information on him that, like, if anyone finds out, if anybody gets a hold of this information, that would make them look like, oh, we just let this shit happen. Well, I mean, we could have been nipped in the bud a long time ago, but we just let this shit happen. Shoo. I'm telling you, this chapter, this arc highlights, and I mean this with all my soul. This arc, not just this chapter, but this arc highlights what was going on back then in Loki's backstory. And like I said, it's a backstory inside the backstory and inside the backstory, because Oda's dropping some stuff on us, like, holy shit. But anyways, like I said about Saint Garland, I mean, a little bit tangent, but he like I said, let's be serious, he has an alternative. Why? There's a reason why he kept that woman alive. There was multiple reasons, and I mean multiple reasons. He could have done this a long time ago. Like I said, celestial dragons, when they see a woman they like or they think they like, they would A, take them back, or B, have a plan for them just in case they find someone else. And look what happened. The end result. But if you like this chapter, this arc, this video, if you're new here, subscribe, like, share this video around, because it's about to get ramped. This arc is about to get ramped up real fast. But subscribe, like, share this video around, and comment down below if you think Saint Garland had his wife on God's Valley on purpose. I mean on purpose, because let's be honest. There was a reason why the wife was like that, stayed on that island. Why he didn't take her back to Marijual. I mean, the celestial dragons do this. We've seen it before. We know it is in the anime and in the manga. But if okay, well, let me just say this too. I mean, let's be fair. Some celestial dragons ain't like that. Well, Don Flamingo is a celestial dragon, ex-celestial dragon, but you don't see him doing that though, right? He has no kid, as we know. As we know of. But anyways, see you again, and see you next adventure. Laters.